back in our 56 pass, I wasn't prepared to translate that. That little mark with the A and then the ring around it. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah.
But I've never heard it. I've never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark. There it is. At AM feedback, com. I mean, what is internet anyway? What do you write to it like mail?
There's Allison. Can you explain what internet is? Wow.
This is 21 years ago. Actually, let me turn this down. Sorry. Forgot that controls the mic too. So consider. You know what's interesting too about this clip? So these two individuals are still in pop culture. They're still well-known individuals. It's not like we're watching some black and white era thing from decades ago. And so we've gone from can you explain what internet is to we all have internet in our pockets now, and how quickly that development has happened. And so consider the age of human history that we're living through, where for the first time, if you have an idea for something, you can exchange that idea with anyone on the planet. You're not isolated by great distance, by geopolitical barriers. You can exchange ideas. And so it's this connectivity, how connected humanity really is, only within the last, it's really only been within the last 10 or 15 years where the internet has kind of matured. And because of the exponential growth in these technologies, which we'll go through some examples, small teams of individuals today can now do what only large companies and governments really could do, say 10, 15 years ago. So, what's in my hand right now represents, the equivalent computational power that only the wealthiest research labs had access to just 10, 15 years ago. And so here's another example. So 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to measure what was happening in your brain, measure your brain activity, you would need to go to a research lab that had fMRI equipment. You need a lab technician to work the equipment and measure the output. So today, you can now buy, this is a NeuroSky, it costs $100. They're not that common, but you're starting to see hobbyists and app developers work with these, which will measure your prefrontal cortex, or the activity being stimulated or measuring the brain activity in the front of your brain. And so one of our alumni, so he's a musician, so this is a musician who works with these headsets to measure the effects that certain types of music will have in our brains. And so his goal, working with teams of neuroscientists, is to actually put you into an alpha state, which in neuroscience is correlated. This is sort of the being in the zone, so a state of focus. It's what athletes are trying to get into before games. It's what coders want to be in when they're developing their software. And so consider the business landscape of this state, this brain state. It's why we drink coffee. It's pharmaceutical stimulants. It's forms of meditation. It's all of these methodologies. And so Matt may not realize that one of his competitors is now a guy in a garage with a laptop and a $100 headset. And so this is the world that we live in. You may not it's not obvious where disruptive technologies to your business are coming from. So this is the music channel, and I found it interesting. The last time I was playing with it, he now has a channel focused on treating ADHD, and so he actually now has clinical trials that are coming to market. And if you're interested in ever sort of doing an experiment in empathy for how the brain of an ADHD patient might be, I would really encourage you to listen to this channel. I think you could probably figure out fairly quickly if you have ADHD or not, depending on how this music sounds to you. I don't think I have it. So Singularity University. So I was chatting with some folks in the back. So one of the core focus areas that we do every summer is we bring together 80 students from around the world to spend 10 weeks learning about all of these technologies that we're seeing this exponential growth take hold. So they learn about biotech, robotics, driverless cars, 3D printing. And so at the end of the summer, we have them form teams, and the goal is that hopefully many of these team projects that they work on at the end of the summer will go on and continue to become a company. And so these are some of the venture-funded companies. So we don't currently actually invest in any of our own companies. That's something we'd like to change. But these are some of the venture-funded companies that have launched as a result of this 10-week program. So I'll come back to a few of them in the biotech space. I'll mention one. So a company called Made in Space. So they're a team from 2010. They were watching the development of 3D printers. This was well before it was sort of a major conversation topic. And so one of the questions they had was, well, if you could put a 3D printer